Howdy everyone, and welcome back to more for the 2024 Stone Burner Open for Dune Imperium Uprising. I'm your host and commentator, BlackShadow, and we're continuing our look at the group stages for the competition. Today we're going to be returning back to Group K. This is a group that we've attended to earlier in this series. You look at the tables currently with just one match remaining for all the players, and this one's going to be featuring Rayverne, Axelz, StopLicking, and Astil. It's definitely a game of two different stories today. A reminder that it is the top two from each group after 4 games played that will go through directly to our quarterfinal stages. Third, fourth, and fifth also do qualify, but have to go through an additional wildcard round to make it to the quarters. Leaving Rayverne sitting up joint top of the table, looking just for a top 2 finish here to get the 70 points, and he'll be guaranteed a spot in the quarterfinals. Anything less than that, and he will be enticing both Terry and Tereshar in order to catch up in their last match. They'll be playing against each other in the final game for the group. However, down the bottom end of the table, it's a really bitter scrap for 5th place and getting through to the wildcards. And although Axelz looks like he's got a 3-point lead here, due to the 6-3-2-1 scoring structure, it's actually exceptionally catchable. No one has won any of the matches either, which is the first tiebreak after points. Which means that if either StopLicking or Astil win this match, they will be Axelz on tiebreaker guaranteed. Which means that Axelz can only be safe if either of them do not lose. Points don't hugely matter here. Tereshar is going to be safe, and Unlucky Pal is not going to be able to catch up whoever's in 5th spot. So it is an absolute direct shootout here between the 3. Licking and Astil need to win it. Axelz needs to make sure that neither of them do. Okay, so let's have a look at the opening bits and pieces here. Yes, I did see some insane stuff on the row. We'll get there in a second. Opening contracts, espionage is quite popular early. Not the hardest place to hit. Pick up some spies, get a contract, pick up some cash early. Could be a nice way of trying to get yourself to Swordmaster a bit quicker. Double card through off a Sado car is... it can be useful. I prefer the agent recall person. That's just me. Then we get to the row. And all eyes are going to be on Steersman here. Very, very powerful card. The Uprising equivalent of Quiz Haderach, giving agent recall. Not uniform access, of course. Not quite the same, but still pretty strong. And a lot of our decent cards were free cost. All of them free. Double Agent is a solid kind of annoyance for Ariana. Pairs very well Benny Operative, of course, for the extra spy reveal. Guild Envoy is kind of like a cheap man's Diplomacy. It does require a discard to use, however. And then B Spoils is the promo card from North Carolina. Not a bad card. I do like the daggers. I think they're pretty solid. Those can be really, really annoying for your opposition, sort of like rounds 3, 4, 5. So, and if you can get a couple of weird symbols, then you can get some value for the card as well. So, you know, a lot of decent stuff there. And as for the characters, we are missing Gurney Halleck, which is pretty darn notable. And we're also missing Emperor Shaddam, who I actually think Shaddam would have been pretty decent here. So you can definitely see likes of Staban getting picked, Muad'Dib, Margot's going to be popular probably. Irulan, Fade. I don't know, it's not the biggest spy game in the world, but I think there's plenty of options here. So leaders getting chose here. So it's Yellow off first. Not the easiest 4th seat here, I'm going to be honest. You could go Staban, but you'd almost certainly have to reveal early. Which some people are more happy to do than others. It feels bad, though, to reveal only for Guild Envoy. Guild Envoy obviously is a decent replacement for Diplomacy, but it does force a discard each time you use it, whether you've got a spacing card or not. So opts for a Muad'Dib 4th position. So kind of looking to accelerate and like target the endgame conflicts is the plan. Pick up hooks sort of mid-game and get ready. You know, maybe put some spies down early, some early espionage onto that Hagar Basin, get the hooks on Siege, and then ready up for some high line like round 7, round 8, followed up with some worms, and try and take it away at the end. I think that's going to be the probable general game plan for Muad'Dib here. Margot's fine. It's all about looking at Steersman and how to get Steersman early. The likes of, Muad'Dib can get there flukily. Margot get chosen 3rd. I think we might well see Fade here. But it must be Staban. Like, there's a couple of decent cards for Staban here. Guild Envoy's fine. Double Agent doesn't pair the best. Double Agent's kind of a weird card. I quite like Double Agent. I think it has a lot of interesting side uses, truthfully speaking. But it's not always most... It's about what you're doing with those extra spies, but it can be pretty nice for Fade. We do see Fade chosen. So if Rayverne wants to, he can play Staban and look to play 2 actions and hope no one reveals early and takes Guild Envoy to absolutely screw him here. which would be pretty bad. Again, Rayverne just needs a top 2 finish to guarantee his route to the quarterfinals. Does not have to win this match. And it's StopLicking and Astil in red and yellow that must win this match in order to make it to the wildcards. Axelz just has to make sure that neither of them win. Doesn't matter what his result is as such. As long as, like, if blue wins, green also goes through. So you might find some couple of funky decisions made here. And again, that's what I like about the back end of the group stages, that the dynamics of the standings does have these little impacts on decisions and like how things might tweak later on. If you're going to go for alliance, who do you go for? Stuff like that. And I do think this is all really, really finely poised in the group as well. Rayverne obviously would like to just win the match and try and top the table. Do get a better draw in the quarterfinals. Will not be able to beat Cherry on average points, though. It's very, very strong. We do see Staban here, so he's going to try and make the punt for Guild Envoy. Okay, here we go then. So opening conflict is going to be Skirmish. It's the Mouse Money Skirmish here. The second Mouse card is Fade. Seats 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are both daggers. So this is going to be interesting. Staban pulls Diplo and his ring. So he's going to feel obligated to go Fremkit. The problem is with Staban is, like, he's happy to do this because he thinks I can get to Guild Envoy. He's going to have to play 2 actions, though, truthfully. Pulls his second dagger. I expect we'll see some troops go in here. Fade draws 7 persuasion, by the way. Unfortunately, Fade can't really get to Spice Must Flow here, I don't believe. Unless he was to, like, go mining, put a spy on diplomacy, and hit it with Diplo. And even then, I don't think you'd be able to get it. You wouldn't be able to draw enough cards, so I don't think there's any way for anyone to get there. Margot's at 6. Wardib's got his ring and 5 persuasion. Wardib might actually, if he can get his way to like Arakeen or something, and then his dagger to Assembly, he could possibly get Steersman turn 1, but it's a tough ask. How much is Fade gonna want to commit to this fight? Is he gonna want to? It's really hard to try and go for the battle win in seat 2 unless you're going to commit like absolutely everything here. If he goes Desert Tactics, he'll have to trash his Doom card, which he doesn't really want to do, I don't think. I think he's just going to take some water here and kind of let this go. I think this is the right move. Again, he can't really get to Research Station and get Steersman's the problem. It's just not really on. So Margot has the option of going to Desert Tactics, and it feels kind of like you probably should. You got the dagger to trash immediately. I mean, in theory, you could go Assembly Hall with your dagger. There's a couple of cards that could get you to Steersman, Manipulate, a couple of the draw cards, Intelligence Report, the one that you can also do a Spice for a draw and a trash. There are cards out there that get you to Steersman round 1, but you're going to have to give up Diplomacy to do it. You don't really like giving Muad'Dib, who's in 4th seat, access to the Fremen round 1. That feels kind of bad. So, Fade kind of putting green in a bit of an awkward early spot. I mean, Desert Tactics trashing the dagger can't be bad, you know? It keeps Muad'Dib away. It's not ideal, but I think it's okay enough. It's going to feel like she's got to put at least 2 troops in, which makes sense. So Muad'Dib, I think, should go Arakeen with his ring, draw a couple of cards, and see if he can get a couple of persuasions. Like, he can pull his Dunes, or even his Diplo in a Dune. Assembly Hall, and he can get to Steersman round 1, which would be enormous. Goes Assembly Hall first. Okay. I think you get to... Well, he decides to do it. Fair enough, then. I guess he figures he needs help for the intrigue. Anyways, gets hold of by Axelz, which is one of the strongest intrigues in the game, truthfully. Very, very powerful. 5 slide for 2 bumps of your choice. In the Uprising setting, that's pretty darn strong. So Staban's got a weird choice in that I think he has to try and win this fight now. He's got the double daggers. I think going to a basin And you still want to look to get like your spy up towards the council and start building money up here. But I think you put this third troop in, and I think you probably take it down enough. He's trying to work out, does he go to Arakeen and do it that way? But I feel like a lot of the time, he probably just puts this troop in and he just takes this down, which is a huge result for Staban to pay around 1. Takes a lot of pressure off here. Nope, he's just going to spy up the basin. Not worried about it for now. But it looks like he's going to take this down here. Fade's got his ring. I assume he's just going to go draw a card. Go his contract, so he's going to go with the espionage. Pretty standard stuff for Fade. Pulls his Seek Allies card, which is not what he wanted. He didn't want to see that. That's a bit of a rough draw. Is what it is. Margot's got 5 and might just reveal here. Yeah, just going to reveal. She's not going to Hagger Basin. So just going to go in all on the bennies here. But Fade's got the spy down on espionage. And it's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So he's going to have to wait a little bit longer here. Muad'Dib's going to get to Arakeen here. Muad'Dib is going to get... Is he going to get there? Oh, he misses! He pulls Seek Allies. Unlucky. It was Seek Allies, his dagger, and... Seek Allies, his dagger, a couple of dunes. Bit unlucky there. Had a shot at 8. Missed it, though. What can you do? But he actually had the route open. I can't believe they allowed him to have that. That's pretty insane. Anyway, so Staban gets Guild Envoy. So he has his Diplo replacement. He'll feel pretty happy. 5 for Fade. Wicked Keeper comes out now. Pirate Compass is out there. A couple of decent cards. It's a solid row. Muad'Dib's got 7. There might still be a big card come off. You never know. Like, whatever Fade buys here. But I think Muad'Dib will be happy with a couple of buys here anyways. Like, make a Keeper and something. What does Fade want? Double Agent looks pretty good for him. He might take Keeper and Agent, I suspect. Oh. Muad'Dib will be saying, cheers. Fade can't get it. Is it going to be Spoils? But I don't think Beast of Spoils is that good a card for him. He stays away from Double Agent. I think it's a really good card for Fade. Just lets you just constantly leverage those spies for battle strength. I'm kind of surprised by that. Anyways, so 7 for Muad'Dib. It's got to go. You imagine it's got to go Haven here. And he will go Haven. He's just trying to work out if he wants to get hold of, like, Double Agent first or something. Yeah, bemoaning is like, I had a crack at 8. And he did. But it's hard to get 8 Persuasion in round 1. Like, the draw was on. But it was, once he hits Diplomacy, it's a coin flip. Takes Paracompass over Smuggler's Haven. Wow. That... And when Staban 2x in this game? What? That's an interesting one. I mean, it's not the best access, I guess, but it's just spice into a point. It's more worm access. I mean, like, I'm a bit surprised at that one, kids. I'm not gonna lie. Well, anyway, Staban wins the combat, gets the pair early, which is pretty useful. Round 2 is Spice Raiders. This is the huge swinging combat if worms are involved, but they won't be here. So it's probably just the knife and the bump. It'll be very hard to get any kind of resource conversion here. No one's got anywhere near hooks. Fade does not pull a Diplo or his ring back with the redraw. So he's in the spot of bother here. He's going to have to probably just go in for this, like Arakeen or something. Try and pick up some bumps. But he knows he's going to get opposition from Margot and Muad'Dib, who've got position on him, so it's kind of ugly. Well, the alternative is you just blast it in a research station. I guess that works. Wow. Commits it in. Looking for steers. He's up to 6 persuasion. He was hoping to find Maker Keeper and his convincing, but he does not. I mean, it's really awkward this because you're basically it's basically now it's an auction and you're setting base price. I feel like if you put in 3, like it's a good price. You know, I mean, green and yellow do want it, but I think you have to charge a price here. I guess you're thinking you might be using one of those daggers, and if they're really that committed to win, I guess they could just go over the top anyways. We'll see. Margot's he's got a first siege access with Fremkit and via Fremkit. I don't see how Margot can turn it down. Marty pulled Diplo and Reliable Informant early, which is pretty nice actually, so he can just start hitting deliver supplies. It gives a spy on a faction that is not the Spacing Guild, so that'll probably go to the Fremen. Obviously start going towards his hooks. And Staban does not have a great hand. Staban does not have a great hand at all. Less value for him going Hager Basin, because if someone else does, he gets the loose spice anyways. He might just go with Spice Refinery. I've got a funny feeling in just... The problem is there's no way for him to get like even like an early high council in order to get to the... He could, if Staban Tuek wants to gamble, Staban Tuek could go Hager Basin and draw his spy to try and get a draw and then go High Council. But he wouldn't be able to get the spy up there, though. Yeah, he doesn't have his ring. He needs his ring to do that, so it doesn't work out. Anyways, Mardiv goes Desert Tactics first. Just blasts it in. Not worried at all. Thinks he's going to get deliver supplies a lot of the time. It has something that has been speculated about playing Staban, and if there's a big card, basically like making an early high council rush, which Staban could definitely do. So he's going to redraw here. He finds Guild Envoy. He's not getting to deliver supplies here. Never in a million years is he going to get there. But he could try. Margot pulls her Benny Operative off the Fremkit draw, which is not the card she wanted to see at all. That's the way that goes down. Faye's got 6. He could go Assembly Hall and try and fluke an intrigue. He's not got much else to do. He can't go Hager Basin. He's just going to go Imperial Basin, pick up the loose spice. I'm guessing he's thinking of espionage next round, so, you know, it's not unreasonable. I guess this is okay. And 5 persuasion is still pretty decent. High places he's trying to target here. Wow. Margot Secrets instead of going Siege. With both her City Access cards in hand? She's going to prepare the way, I guess, to Siege next round. That's a bit of a surprise, but okay. Pulls Distraction. It's a nice intrigue. Mardi will do as we said earlier. So, you know, Staban could go Espionage, but again, there's no way for him to get steers. He's pulled Guild Envoy. He kind of has to use it, you'd think. It's Espionage or Dutiful is the problem. He'll make the spend. Oh, he pulls his ring. That's an unlucky draw. Yep, Spy down. It's a forced discard, of course. So yeah, a bit unlucky to pull the ring there, but that's, you know, that's the way it goes down sometimes. Just got to roll the punches. So Muad'Dib looks like he's going to be getting towards Deep Desert first here, which is pretty scary. Fade's going to take this down, gets high places. Faction Spy's very quickly eaten up here. Margot's going to have free persuasion. I don't know what she's going to be after here. Does she go double agent? I think she should consider double agent. Double agent is not a good card for other people to have because it will infiltrate other spies. So that's a real kind of like get in the way of Arakeen sort of spy move. I think it's a card she needs to get out of there. I think it's the best card for her. It also takes a bit of pressure off her ring. It will just allow a lot of spies. She's got Benny Operative. Like it's got to be double agent for me. I think I don't like anything else here. You know, it means you don't have to keep playing Benny Operative. You just reveal it as a free persuasion card, which I think people forget about sometimes. She's looking at Fadakin Steel Tent, obviously because of hooks, but I think this is the better option. She does go for it. Wow. Hello, Staban Tuek. What a reveal that is for him. My goodness. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's not Steersman, but it's just as good. What a top deck. So Staban Tuek's first two cards are Guild Envoy, and I know Smuggler's Haven's there though, and he's like, it's such an absurdly crazy card for him. Yeah, it's a weird spot, isn't it? They're both amazing cards for him. Which one do you prefer? Problem is, it's his high persuasion hand now. Man, I don't even know which one you go for. I guess I would take Smuggler's Haven, just because it means if you need to reveal it, you still get insane value. And he's went straight to Hager Basin, so I think he's got to commit himself to Smuggler's Haven. And I hope he gets back to there. Takes the Steel Tent as well. Okay, I guess. Another good card out there. Nothing to play. So, Fade will take it down. Curious to know where he's going to bump here. I assume he's just going to bump Fremen. Muad'Dib's going to get to 2 water. So he will have a chance even to go Deep Desert. He might re-pop it at Research Station, though. Trying to get Steersman again. So, you know, you can kind of see what he draws and work it out. And we'll move on. I assume Fade's... He might not do. He's going to take either Fremen or Bene Gesserit. He goes Bene Gesserit instead. He's going to make a play for the Alliance here. Not too worried about the hooks right now. Yeah, both ways are good. He's going to be playing Diplo this coming hand for sure, so... His Sea Cal is still in his hand as well. He needs to get that used. And 3 is Test of Loyalty. Another very strong worm combat, this. Which I assume Margot's just going to look to go in here. Someone is going to have to go Hager Basin here and cut this off. I don't know. Well, Muad'Dib can't. I feel like Staban Tuek's going to feel like he has to get in here. Well, it's not going to matter here anymore. Ooh, goes the Benny. So that's going to make life annoying for Fader Alpha here. He's not going to be able to pull his spy off here because he feels like he's got to protect that. Muad'Dib's going to take the cash. Staban Tuek, I think, just has to go Hager Basin here. I think there's too much value, and you can't let Margot get there. It's just so insane. Letting Margot just go there freely. I know you get a spice off of it, but I think you have to hit this. I think to not take Hager Basin, to block her hooks on this conflict in round 3, and to give up all that bonus spice as well, I think is just wrong. You know, the spice pays for all sorts of things. If you want to take an early trip to Sardaukar and garrison up, you can do that. There's going to be really dangerous rounds 4 and 5 conflicts. You can target them. It's going to be hard for people to get on top of you because you're just going to be able to just have sheer numbers in front of you. You've got no ring, so you can't really get to Swordmaster very quickly. I mean, you shouldn't just liberally block Hager Basin to the hook person, but I think if you're not going to block Hager Basin now with all the spice, when are you going to do it? Wow. I just can't. I can't get behind this. I think it's so much value there. There's so much value denying. That's pretty wild. What a result for green. Vader Alpha's wishing he had water to block this. There's nothing he can do. Assembly Hall picks up Shaddam's favor. Not the best intrigue in the world. If you get the free influence, the free cash is better than it looks. Wow. Massive result this for Margot. The only downside of it is he only gets 1 spy instead of 2, but I don't think she's going to care. Don't think she's going to care. I mean, like, you just have to, right? Yeah. So Muad'Dib, what's he going to do here? He's going to use Seek Allies. He's going to get his Swordmaster first, and I guess he'll just hit, like, maybe Secrets. He'd love to get back to, like, Deliver Supplies, but it's not likely he gets there, seeing as Staban's got the contract. So if he's got access, you'd expect him to go Deliver Supplies most of the time here. But Staban figures, well, I can make a punt for hooks here. So that's what he's going to do. Desert Tactics it as well. That's why he didn't spend the water. Because he was looking to go Desert Tactics. Wow. I still feel like just hitting base and just getting spice together was better. But that's, you know, different people see it different ways. Faye's got to use Seekers. He needs to get it out of his hand. He wants to espionage and double draw, but he will not get the spy back. But he feels he's going to make the play for it. For Steersman. Hits it. I tell you what, if he makes that move and he misses, it's a disaster. So he hasn't taken the spy. He needs to... There's a lot of things he hasn't done. It's all mandatory, so he has to do it. So he gives up the spy on espionage to go for it as well, and yeah, he absolutely nails it. So you know, he took the chance and got there. So that's a result. Margot's going to get captured Mentat. Margot looking pretty good here. Muad'Dib with free persuasion. I don't know, do you go like Thumper? Thumper looks pretty good. I quite like Thumper actually in Muad'Dib's deck here. Doubles the bonus spice. If he could send that to Deep Desert, oh, he would be swimming in it. That'd be 8 spice. Should be worth noting, though, that if you send Thumper, you only get the spice if you decide to not summon hooks. It's the only thing you got to bear in mind. But, of course, there has to be a reveal ahead of him. Staban might take it instead. Gotta go... I think you gotta go... Oh, that's weird. You want to go deliver supplies, but you also want to go siege. You're first to act, so I guess Fremkit is the move. I don't know if he'll pull the spy. Does pull the spy for the double draw. That was his last 2 cards, so he's making the move for price as no object here. Problem is, if Fade Ralpha misses Steersman, then he will take price. So that's the only downside. You're relying on red basically actually having hit. You can't even put in 1 troop here. Unless you're deliberately trying to stall Staban here, which doesn't make any lick of sense on this fight. So Staban with 3. Does Staban go Thumper? Does he bother? He might not take anything here. Maybe Rebel Supplier, because he can put spies anywhere he wants. Maybe some future research station stuff. That's about the best I've got. Yeah, that's kind of what he's thinking. So Fate gets Steersman. Muad'Dib gets price. Margot wins the conflict. And is going to be swimming in goodies here. Privilege access as well. It's pretty nice. All the good stuff. She's got one more spy to put down. Where's she going to put that, do you reckon? She'd like to put it council. Can't put it Hangar Basin. Deep Desert doesn't make a ton of sense, really. Might just put it on the siege spot, truthfully, I think, just to try and get some water back. I could definitely see that happening. Could also maybe go Fremen. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like that's the spot. She might move that spy, but it's kind of awkward too. You don't really want to. And once we move. Oh boy. It's Sieges. One of the nutty ones. Worm Central. If a Worm player can win this, they are just set for a lot of the game. Muad'Dib has drawn... I mean, how does Muad'Dib not just go Siege Deep Desert here? It seems kind of impossible. No one else has any water, by the way, so you're just completely locking people out here. Like, it's just Siege Deep Desert, like, right? How is it not? He could even Siege Deep Desert if you want to. He could smuggle immediately, though he has got price no object. Yeah, this is a big looking round for Muad'Dib here. Get him in, like, you know, and tell him, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do. Staban pulls his Smuggler's Haven. I don't think he's ever going to play it here. He has to get his Swordmaster first, of course. Get in way of Margot. Faye can get his Swordmaster via Refinery. He doesn't have a ton else going on with his hand. He's got in high places. He's got no Benny Synergy, so he can't get the extra agent box. The reveal is 2 Persuasion or an extra 3 if you're willing to pull off a couple of spies. Could go Imperial Basin as well. He decides he's going to do so for the spice. So I think Fade is going to actually play for this this Benny Alliance by the looks of it. He's gonna try for it. Gonna get the dudes in. Yep, spice to fight for here. All prizes here are pretty wild. Margot's got captured Mentat. I tell you what, as Margot Fenring, I am looking at going Imperial Privilege here. I think you can happily skip off Swordmaster for now. Maybe even go High Council. And High Council is now a Spice Must Flow. Almost certainly. She has to discard a card to redraw one is the only problem. But it'd be... well, I mean, you don't have to discard, but you generally are going to use Captured Mentat's ability. It's really strong. So I think she might go High Council here. Here comes Deep Desert with the ring. No surprise. Spawn's going to claim all sorts of resources here on his reveal. What's he want to do with his ring? Is there ever any Spice Refinery and put the spot up on Assembly Hall to get to High Council? Is there ever a move here? I don't know. Wow. Staban opts just to play it for the bump. He pulls as well. I'm a little surprised about that. I'm a little surprised. I think as Staban, if you're not using it, if you're not using it for a point, you just want to be revealing it and just picking up the spice there. I mean, the bump's okay. Is he going gather support? Is he trying to make a move towards Deep Desert Hooks himself next round? Maybe that's what he's after here? Fade hits Refinery. Figures might as well. Sorry. I think it's this way as well. Also slows down Margot. I think as Margot Fenring, High Council looks really good right here. With captured Mentat. Like, I really, really like the move. You can get to Refiner whenever the heck you want. And it's almost certainly a Spice Must Flow. But she might not want to take the gamble. No, which is why she's deciding to just make it with do it with Double Agent instead, and just move the spy onto the council here. That is getting set up for future Imperial Village. I guess, yeah, if you don't want to take the risk on the respin, that's fine. And I'm not against that. You know, if you don't fancy taking the risk, you know, I get it. Sorry, guys. This freaking cough. One day it will go. Why don't you just going to pick some more intrigues? Secure Spice Trade is found. That's pretty nice for him, actually. He can definitely get some potential value out of that. I don't know what Staban's going to do. Surely it includes his ring. I just don't know what his move is here. He's surely just got to get a troop, and he's got to pick up this third place Spice. But it's Arakeen or Hagar Basin. He doesn't really want to go Hagar Basin, I don't think. I don't know if he really wants to draw either, but I don't see any way you can't be putting this dude in. Like, 2 Spice is just so strong. So surely it's just Arakeen. Convincing is found. Wow. Puts in both troops. He is after second place. He thinks he can pinch it from Fade. I don't think this is a good idea. Not when Fade's just sitting there with spies he can just rip off whenever he wants. But Staban has been pretty aggressive this game. He's going to put the spy on the Fremen to try and find an intrigue. Finds Chowan Prophets. Which is... I don't think he's going to get that for field in time. Maybe? I mean, if I'm Fade Ralph, I think I'm taking the spy off council here. Staban has to have at least 1 dagger. I think I'm willing to spend a spy for a spice and a troop. It's either that or he rips both spies off and goes for Junction Headquarters. It must be what Staban's trying to do. He's trying to stop Fade Ralph for getting Junction Headquarters. The only thing that makes any sense of like why he's made that move here. But he's just, yeah, he's just going to take the swords. That seems likely. So it's 4 persuasion for Fade. Fade won't mind too much not getting Junction. Right, so be it. So Margot with 9 surely takes the Spicer's Float. What Margot can do as well, very nasty trick with Captured Mentat. Iran can do it as well. She can go down and up on the same track where she gets her bonus to reacquire it. So she basically turns this into a 2 Spice reveal. It's really, really... No, Captured Mentat for Margot and Irulan have extra value. Really nasty. Wadib's got 5. Calculus of Power turns up. Second Maker Keeper. Fine Witness is now found as well. He's got no Spy Generation's the only problem. I feel like Calculus is a good pickup here. Pairs, interestingly, with Price No Objects. It's just a solid card. To reveal. If you reveal it with Price, like in the final round, you can then trash Price after you've bought your Spice to Slow for some daggers for a fight. Yeah, I think Calculus is good. You also do not want Staban to getting Calculus of Power. It's one of his best cards. Really strong. 4 more to buy if he wants it. I don't know if I'm buying anything else. He's got 12 cards. I think that's fine. I'm okay if not buying anything else. I don't think I'd be able to prepare here. I think it's a little... It's not so great getting repairs until you know you can get that draw. Feels a lot better. And Staban will just gather the resources. He's got 4 as well. Make a keeper, I guess. Make a keeper helps pay for the likes of Smuggler's Haven. I think it's what I'd be taking here. And it does do so. Cove Operation comes off, by the way. That's a fun card. So, nothing to be played here. Yellow will take it down. It's always insane when Muad'Dib wins this conflict with a worm. It's always insane. Like, it's just such a snowball sort of conflict, this. Completely wild. Spice dotted around elsewhere. But yeah, Muad'Dib has just gone up in the world here. No match, but he won't care. So, onwards we march. Round 5 is our first walled conflict. So if Staban was intending to go seek Steep Desert on this fight, he's not going to be able to, because the wall is up here. At the same time, I don't really like... I feel like you've got to hit Siege now while you can. I know you kind of want to go Bene Gesserit first so you can get the water from Make a Keeper, but I think Siege is too important to just hit immediately. I don't think you can really turn it down. The odds of there being a detonation style intrigue isn't high. And Muad'Dib's the only person going to have it. Yeah, you've got to hit Siege and get the hooks now, otherwise you risk never getting there. So I'm just going to put it in and go about his ways here. Fade's got Steersman for the first time. High places, all sorts of stuff here. Doesn't have to worry about Margot getting to Spice to Swordmaster before him, so no danger there. Might he go Refinery himself? What's he doing? No, just gonna take the double draw. Okay. Nothing else to do, I guess. Sure. Opts to keep the spy there still. Okay. Clearly got high council plans in the back pocket here. Possibly with Steersman. Margot's hand isn't great. And I assume she's just gonna... So it's kind of weird for Margot. She wants to espionage, but she doesn't get as much value out of Benny Operative because she's got 2 spies down. She'd be able to move one if she wants. Because one's just going to go back to Bene Gesserit all the time here. But her hand's pretty poor. She's got no way of generating any cash here, so I don't see a ton else of what she can do here. You know, combat doesn't even pair for you. It's not even like, well, maybe I can find a way to highline her because you get no action coming as well. So it's an awkward round here. She could just go secrets and not draw if she doesn't want to, but I think she's gonna spin it here and double draw and see what she finds. Wow, what a hand. So it's Assembly Hall, Spice was Flow by the looks of it. As I'm speaking. So Muad'Dib is up. doesn't go deliver supplies yet. I'm really nervous when I've got reliable operative. I feel like I want to get operative off ASAP because I'm worried about not getting deliver supplies, and I don't think he's ever getting to Highline here. So goes Arakeen, which I mean, okay, I guess. Also, I think when you got fine weakness as well, I think I'm just. I don't know, maybe he reckons that no one's going to deliver supplies here, but I'm not so sure. Spawn's got Guild Envoy. He has no matching symbols. I don't feel like there's any reason to highline this fight. I think you'd rather hold on to the spice and kind of gear up for round 7 for a blast in. So it kind of leaves Dutiful or, like, Secrets. Secrets is okay. I don't think it's a bad move. Having more options is always good. Point to point. The Fremen Spy is probably just going to stay there, truthfully. He's going to go deliver. Which is also okay. I think Staban Tuek is going Haga Basin. And he's just gearing up for a load of spice for things. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? Fade will ship. Getting his High Council ready with Steersman, the likes of that. He puts the spy on the Highlander spot, which makes sense when you got Steersman. You're always threatening that. Margot just has to Assembly Hall and just take the point and call it a day. Nothing to do here. So Muad'Dib, if he was hoping to get reliable informant off, he's not going to be able to. And he is short on options. Finds Bat by Cho'um, which is not a great card for him right now, I'm going to be brutally honest. It pays for buy access. It basically turns buy access into get a Solari and a bump. His hand's a little awkward here as well. Like, obviously he's now at risk at secret stealing, so he's going to have to resolve it. He might be forced into doing that, which isn't great. He might actually, what he might do is Bat by Cho'um, go down with the Fremen. So by access he goes back and at least reacquires the water from the Fremen as the acquire bonus. That's my guess of what he'll probably end up doing here. Staban just goes accept contract, pulls his other dagger. It's pretty wild. He feels he's got to might try and make a play towards the contracts here. And very fortunately, he's pulled one research station contract out. And another research station's, the other one's come out as well, so he might actually now make a play for Cho'um profits here. But obviously that's water that he is not using elsewhere. Wadi's going to get this battle incredibly cheaply. Fade's still not wanting to use the spy there. It's because he's keeping it for in high places. That's what's going on here. So, and he will get there. He's got like a free action to like maybe just Imperial Basin, I guess. Just limp in, pick up a spy, some resources. Looks like that's what's going to happen here. With Beast Spores, he might even overtake Staban here. Spice is slow for Margot. He's got 2 of them in a deck now, though, so that's going to start complicating our hands a bit here. Margot's deck isn't amazing, truth be told. Muad'Dib needs to resolve this Bat by Cho'um stuff, I think. I think he's going to have to just play Bat by Cho'um for the Solari and then buy access, I feel. You do not want to have buy access stolen, and you do not want to be losing secure spice trade. That could be kind of a bit disastrous. So Esteban will just obviously do that. Fade assumed he's pulling his spies for the spice must flow in a moment. He's going to play... Doesn't have to play Beast Spoils. But interesting. I just go Imperial Basin. Does he really want the cash? If you don't play Beast Spoils, you just get an extra water. I guess you had a research station. He's thinking of getting the extra resources here, basically. He gets a trash and he gets a spice. So he's thinking of doing it this way. He'd rather get the Dune card out of his hand. I guess in that case, sure. So Muad'Dib wins this super cheap. His money's gathered up now for buying those spice must flows as well. He's going to buy access now. But he is going to have to drop something here. Maybe he's thinking he can like maybe drop from the Fremen and go back there himself. I don't know. I feel that's what he's probably going to do though. But he's keeping his options open. He's never going to get the 2 contracts afield to turn it to 4 swords, I don't think. I'm supposed to vote for Fade. So there's no comment to be played here. Fade will take a water. Staban will be up at 6 water, which is pretty big. He's going to need to start justifying it, of course. Smuggler's Haven will help. Why is Fade Ralpha not just... He doesn't want to lose the spy at Spacing Guild, I guess. But I guess, well, if you did that, I mean... The problem is, otherwise he's got 6 persuasion. Is junction or covert operation? Wow. Astil decides to not buy Spice Must Flow. I just feel like your high places, like if anytime you can get those 2 spy reveals and take those and get a Spice Must Flow with that, I feel you just got to do it. There's only so much time in this game. Like it's why you if you were gonna, you know, do it this way, why keep the spy at the council? Bit surprised, but whatever. Anyways, Muad'Dib wins it. It's more wall conflict. Spice Refinery now is up. And now you think the wall might start getting bust at some point here, but the question is who busts it. Margot doesn't want to bust it because... Well, she could bust it thinking of next round, but she knows she's giving Refinery away worm-wise to her opponents, which isn't ideal. Muad'Dib and Staban are worried about each other at Deep Desert and don't really want to be giving that away. Staban especially. Really hard to see him going to Siege and busting. He doesn't need to. Like, Staban can just hit Deep Desert himself and just turn it into a point with Haven. So, Staban's under no real pressure to bust the wall. Muad'Dib wants to, and Margot kind of does, but would make this turn a bit ugly. And knows he'll be giving Muad'Dib a big helping hand in a conflict which he wants to pair. So it's tough for Margot. Looks like Fade Ralpha is just going to start gearing up for some privilege moves. It looks like. I mean, if you're not going to use either contract, I would probably take the one that pairs with Staban, just so he doesn't have it. I don't know he's ever going to Sardaukar, truthfully, but whatever. I think Margot should go Siege regardless, but I don't think she should bust this. She's got special mission, by the way. Oh my god, Archie, she's got a detonation-style contract, by the way. I completely missed that. I can't see using it here, though. So, High Council getting readied. Maybe she could still privilege. I don't know. Wants to be using captured Mentat now, really. Betty Alliance she wants to make a move on, of course, as well. Wadid needs money to pay for Price is No Object here. So, Muad'Dib will just blow it up and, yeah, like, if Margot's not going to go siege, Muad'Dib's got every reason just to get stuck in here. I'm not surprised. So, the question is Staban deep deserting and putting in worms, or is he going to deep desert and just take the spice to try to get, maybe to, like, deliver supplies in Haven? I think Staban is forced into deep desert here, whatever he does. But I don't know if he's going to try and actually win the fight or not. If he's going to take worms. I legit don't know. No, he doesn't care. He does not care enough to go deep desert. He's like, sure, you have that. I've got eyes on Research Station and future deep desert. He's going to put troops in, but he can't expect to be winning this. Staban doesn't have enough spice to go Highline and Smuggler's Haven. A pricey 9. That would have been interesting, though. Staban just takes the spice, doesn't worm it, and then just, like, rips it a Highliner or something. That'd be completely bonkers, but it's Uprising. Stuff happens. Fade's just going to grab spice here. Fade's... It's not... It doesn't feel great here for Astil, I'm not going to lie. It just feels like there's no particularly clear way. You know, you gave up the point, the last round to pick up a couple of Bene Gesserit cards, which I don't think was worth it. He's basically relying on getting to Highliner and winning the round 7 conflict. The problem is, he's not the only person with that plan. Margot goes... Swordmaster. Oh, right, she's got Swordmaster. That's what I meant earlier when I said Council. Yep, discard. The Recon looks good. Why would you get rid of Diplomacy when Reconnaissance is in your hand and you've got Recon cards? What? I tell you what. She actually should have played Cunning there. I think, maybe. Or at least considered Cunning. She could have actually done that before the redraw. Oh, no, it's an atomic effect, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's an atomic effect. She wouldn't be able to interrupt that. So, just saying, Muad'Dib. Alright, then. Worm away, boy. I do feel like Yellow has been allowed a bit in this game. I'm not going to lie. His life has been made significantly harder than what it currently is. Only thing, yeah, Muad'Dib's just going to bat by Cho'am to, like, secrets, and then to Bene Gesserit and just hit secrets and just get a point here. Like, Muad'Dib is becoming favourite here to win this match. If he does, he's through to the next round. Ever since he won that Protect the Seachers fight, like, it's such an insane conflict. If Muad'Dib can win Protect the Seachers and get the Fremen Alliance, it's completely ridiculous. And he's just going to be acquiring spiceless flows on the side. He's going to be laden with resources. This is a happy times for Muad'Dib here. Under no pressure at all, you don't really feel. Shipping for Staban, yep. Needs to find these bumps somewhere. Staban Tuik he's making the move. He is looking to go deliver supplies with Smuggler's Haven. And he figures, well, Yellow ditched their Diplo. Red's played it. That he might actually just get... He might just get there all the time here. And I tell you what, he's absolutely right. So Staban's going to pick up some points here. Fade... Is he going Privilege? He is going to go Privilege. It's just a draw. He does not have any intrigues to respin here. He's going to cycle his deck doing this. Trying to find Spiceless Float, I guess. He actually hits it. That's pretty wild. Has to take an agent back that is not the agent you put down. That's how the space works. The agent recall feature. Same with Steers. I don't think Fade's going to take an action here. I think he maybe go Arakeen if he can. I'll go double draws and get Spiceless Flow with the Benny Operative. Only just. Only just. But gets there. And, yeah. So she's just reliant on just hard buying Spiceless Flow cards here and just trying to brute force her way to winning this. But Muad'Dib is just, he is accelerating at this point now. Momentarily drops the point to obviously regain it. I think I don't know if you want to go secrets. I guess you want the spy for fine weakness, so yeah, I guess this is fine. He'll just put it on a faction spot, just blocking up, getting in the way. So Spiceless Flow 1 taken. That goes in hand. Does not go into your discard pile. So he gets the spice for it as well. He's looking very, very good for Muad'Dib here. Very, very strong. Steban is going to score a couple of points. So I guess that's better than nothing. But he's got all this water. And the problem is, it's really hard for him to use a lot of it. He'll be hoping, basically, I think basically he's hoping to respin Haven and just hit Deep Desert and just turn it into another point. That's kind of where he's at with this. But Steban's going to have to come from behind here. Again, reminders, Rayverne only needs a top 2 finish to qualify for the quarterfinals. And that's guaranteed. He could still finish with less, and if Terry or Terra Shark don't win their matches, basically. That's what it is. If he's second place, he's guaranteed. If he doesn't, then if either of them win their match, he'll have to go through the wildcards. Fade decides to prepare the way and double draw it. Which, you know, whatever you want to see it. His spice must flow, but he's not going to be using his ring. So Margot with a point. Fade's going to get a point. Muad'Dib's got... He's only got 3 persuasion. Paracompass doesn't reveal for anything unless you have the High Council. So just 3 persuasion in the spice. Things are kind of finely poised here, but, you know, you'd be fancying Muad'Dib's chances here to win this. Wow, 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 wow. Well, well, well. The plot thickens. Not much for Steban to do here. I don't think he'll do much of anything here, really. Steban's still going to get some decent resources out of this. Some intrigues and such. And a cheap 2 spice to Fade. Everyone is going to be loaded on spice here, basically. Coming up here. So, this could be carnage. There's going to be Highlanders all over the joint. We'll see what intrigues Steban picks up here. As Muad'Dib moves into the lead. What does Steban find from the intrigue pile? Contingency plan is okay. That is a huge card for him. My goodness. That is pretty nice. So here we go. There is resources everywhere. No real garrisons, though. Oh, man. It's propaganda. Oh, dear. There's not even walled. Well, I tell you what, this is a disaster for Phaedra Alpha. This is not what he wanted to see. He did not want to be having to deal with worms in this fight. At all. So the Bard has actually found Smuggler's Haven as well. His only mining card is Haven is the problem. Wow, what a spot for Staban here. I don't know what he's going to do. It's kind of hard to not just use Haven for a point. The problem is how does Staban Twick win this battle? I mean, he could Deep Desert and look to try to get to Research Station. And he's got decent odds of getting there, truthfully. He's got a spy, so he's always guaranteed to get there. Staban Twick might sack off the... He might give it up. He might go Research Station first, actually, and try and find another card that gets him to there, and then maybe between Hager Basin or Imperial Basin, reuse... Maybe even look to go back to deliver supplies with Smuggler's Haven. You change allegiances down with the faction first to get up like the Bene Gesserit bump, and then get your alliance back, basically, so you're getting some extra money on the side. Stuff like that. Like, there's definitely options to Staban here. I actually quite like that as a general route. Reminder, it's a wild symbol in Propaganda, so it matches with any combat symbol you've got, but only on endgames. Only on endgames. Muad'Dib needs money desperately. Oh, he's repulled! Price is an object now. Wow. Okay, so Muad'Dib has a situation, but everyone's got a situation. Margot's hand, she's got Hana access, but that's it. She's got nothing else. What a spot for Margot. Muad'Dib, I think he kind of like almost doesn't want to highline this fight. He might be better off just between shipping and spice refinery, and then just use price as no object, basically. He can use the shipping to get the... Actually, this game could end right now. Here's a move here from Muad'Dib. He ships, takes the spacing bump, 8 points, goes spice refinery, and then with his Paracompass, for example, and then price no object, the Emperor, you get 9 points with the friendship, you get to 10 with the Spiceless Flow, you finish with 11, and you probably just win this match. Wow, Margot is going to use the bottom part of it and actually make the trash as well. I don't know if I like that. Guess she's not interested in going Highliner anymore. Nope. She's not going to worry about it. So Muad'Dib has a decision. He could get stuck in. The problem for Muad'Dib is if he decides not to highline and doesn't involve in this fight, it does leave the space, his Fremen Alliance vulnerable. It leaves it vulnerable to a Staban move, most certainly, who has the war and might just do it. That is the problem for Muad'Dib. But the other problem for Muad'Dib is winning this fight is really hard. Because even if you were to, like, highline now, that doesn't mean you're going to get the Hager Basin, and vice versa. I think Muad'Dib should just stay out, but he can't help himself. It gets the point anyways. He's just going to get stuck in here. But the problem now is that I don't think he can finish this. Yep, Staban just double dipping on these contracts, of course. Gives up Smuggler's Harvester for the double draw. Well, he does find other access to Deep Desert, so Staban Twick is gearing up to fight here. He is loading the gun. And Staban will be using Change Influences, if he can, to steal this Benny Alliance. I think he's going to feel like he has to go for it. Fade's in a lot of trouble here. High Places is in hand, but he needs more spies, which he doesn't have currently. He might not use it. He might actually end up using High Places as an action. Maybe he does it to Sardu cards just to draw a ton of cards. I think that's what he's going to end up doing here. Margot did pick up Sitch Ritual, by the way, off of the alliance, but I don't think she has any interest in it. It doesn't seem very useful to her right now, so yeah, we'll get discarded. It's a pretty good intrigue, but there's better to find. Binds Depart from Arrakis, which is very usable here. Basically being paid for with the Spice of Slow cards in hand. Well, Hagaison's there, so Muad'Dib now is just going to commit himself and figures, okay, so be it. If Renatus is going to get involved in this fight, then what the hell, basically. He's got the spies back off as well. I mean, if Margot highlined, then Muad'Dib had a very safe route otherwise, but given the fact that it's not gone down, it's going to be a huge clash here. I think Muad'Dib's is going to go Sardu Kar, because then he can detonate and put the troops in. I feel like that's what he's going to do here. And it's probably going to be good enough to... Well, the problem with Muad'Dib, though, is that he can't finish the... Oh, he could still get the... Actually, no, he can still get the Emperor Alliance. He only finishes on 10 instead of 11, but... You think probably if you finish now at 10 points, you probably win? Like, you've got secure spice trade, so you'd be worried about Margot having in-game matching symbols. That would be your one concern. And that's pretty uncomfortable. If Margot's got either of them for the Chris Knife or Thopter, like, you're just out of the competition. But I don't think Muad'Dib's going to be able to do much about it. I think he's going to have to just do it, shut his eyes, and say, well, if it goes down that way, it goes down. Like, Muad'Dib's committed himself to the fight here at this point. Like, he can't back out. He's gone down this route. He had to decide immediately if he was going to... what he was going to do. Like, there was a safe route to not get involved in the fight, but it was leaving the Fremen Alliance in relative jeopardy, so not a lot I don't think Staban could the Muad'Dib could do about it, I guess. This is also fine. To be fair, if he finds any matching symbol endgame, it pairs with the propaganda point as well. So he's got like 3 cards to play for. Yeah, it's a shame not to use price as an object to secure a spice trade, but what are you going to do? You just want to get this game over and done with, really. Astil's doing what he can here. Yeah, Astil, he's making the bumps here, but it's difficult here. Like, it's really hard to... He kind of feels like he's got to do this. I wonder if Red might steers to, like, Imperial Basin just to go back to shipping and take the Emperor Alliance. That would be a disaster for Muad'Dib, by the way, if that happened. That'd be an absolute disaster. And I tell you what, it's on. It is a legitimate move. If Muad'Dib sided with cards, which I assume he does, I think Red might have to do it. Just to keep the game going. Because otherwise he knows that Yellow will just get the point and the game ends. I think Red's hand might be forced. He's the only person that can stop it. Or he's relying on Staban winning the fight, which... you know, may not look that likely at the time. And remember, Red has to win this match. If Red doesn't win it, they're out. They must win this. So I think they're going to be forced to have to do something about it and take the Emperor bump. Not what he wants to do, though, at all, I don't think, but I just don't see what else he's going to be able to do. Margot's just going to go Arakeen and draw. I suspect the part will be used. She pulls Captured Mentat. My god, she's got there's a lot going on in that hand. Captured Mentat, Benny Operative. Still got an action. Do you use the part for the spice? Does it matter? I guess not. But tie breaks could be relevant here. Nope. She's not going to get involved here. She's going to hope there's one more round. I think. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Change her heart. Well, the only thing she can do is an intrigue. She can't retake the action. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's at 10 persuasion, not even counting the Benny +2. So, yeah, says I don't need to. So here comes the Sardaukar move. And now it's up to Red to basically decide. I think if you see someone make a move like that as Muad'Dib here, now Red has to go Bene Gesserit. Has to do it. Otherwise the game just ends, you'd think. Muad'Dib also pulls questionable weapons as well, which is... It's nice for the swords, but the problem is... Oh, he can just do it anyways, because he's got... It's propaganda, so Muad'Dib's winning the fight here. And it basically comes down to, what does Fader Alpha do? Fader Alpha's only move here is he has to go Imperial Basin and go back to shipping and take the Emperor Alliance before Muad'Dib can get it. It's the only way this game continues. I don't know if he's going to see it, though. I have no earthly idea, but it's the only way this game continues. Steban Tuick hates this, by the way. He realizes he's done. There's no way he's going to be able to win this fight anymore. It's really hard. He can go Deep Desert with the Steel Suits. And he can get 7 strength. Or 8 strength. That only gets him to 20. He's still behind Muad'Dib. And Muad'Dib has got intrigues all over the place. I think Steban has to give up the fight here. It's either that or he deep deserts and goes Emperor Spy and hopes to fluke an intrigue. And that's what he's going to do. He feels there's nothing else for him to do here. He's going to close his eyes and hope he gets there. He needs help. There's intrigues to help him get there. And that's not one of them. That is not one of them. And he doesn't have the spice, and he doesn't have the water. Blue is now relying on red stopping yellow. Change allegiances will be played. Just to get the extra point here. He normally would have gone for the Fremen, but he knows it's so unlikely to win it. So, it's simple as that. Red has to take Emperor Alliance now, or it's game over. And yellow goes through to the next round. Does red see it? I don't think anything else makes any sense here. Like, it sucks to do that. I don't see any other way for him to gain spice either. It has to be Imperial Basin back to shipping. It's the only way the game continues. Like, is there any way for him to generate spice? He has to play Steersman. Does he see it? Oh, High Council. High Council also works, actually. Yes, High Council to revisit. That also works. Yeah, that's a better move than Imperial Basin. Same idea. Turn the Solari into the spice and the resources there. Yeah, that's the move. Okay, so he does see it. Good spot by red. Yeah, High Council, of course, will return. I do forget about that sometimes. He finds Desert Mouse, which actually pairs for him. It's actually an endgame point. It's absolutely nailed it at High Council. Yep. So, good spot by Red here. Realizes what he's got to do. So this game is going to continue here, unless blue or yellow have Imperium politics, which is the Solari for the bump. Because Change is out, By Axis is out. It's the only thing left. Margot, I guess, is just going to go secrets and just pull an intrigue, and, you know, she can then shift this with Captured Mentat to get hold of the spacing bump. Which means this game is going to... Oh, there it is, actually! I just called it! There is Imperium Politics. Wow. I think Red doing this is going to inadvertently kingmate Green here. But there's nothing they can do about it. Red has to act in their best interest and try and keep the game going. It sucks for Muad'Dib. I'm not saying he should have taken the other route. But it's how this has gone down here is a bit heartbreaking for Yellow. He's only got one persuasion. Like, he can't even buy anything. He can still play the card, though. And then just not buy anything. Staban has a couple of swords. It's not going to matter, though. He can't win the fight. I think Margot Fenring is going to win this on Spice Tiebreak. And Axelz is going to go through to the next round. All he needed was for Red and Yellow to not win this. Staban, however, is going to have to wait. Rayverne is not going to win this. And he's going to have to now wait on other results to see if he goes through the quarters or not. Second place is, you know, it's a 6-point lead. So he might still be the beneficiary of some average point tiebreakers. But there's nothing Staban can do here. Yeah, let Margot just get in as much spice as humanly possible here. No, she needs it. I mean, it can't matter which one you're going to take. Like, no one's taking your alliance. Siege Ritual's gone. Been a close match, this. Been a good match. Very tight. I think Muad'Dib will be disappointed after, like, going on that run in the mid-game to not close this out. Maybe a little unlucky how this has gone down. If Margot highlights, it's a totally different story. Fade gets the Spice Must Flow, and he does have a matching point coming. And in fact, that might even force Rayverne to fourth place here. Which means he wouldn't even have the benefit of average points either, tiebreak. So that is it. It's all over. Unless Muad'Dib can fluke an endgame. And even then, I don't think it'd make a difference. He can only get to 10. Red ultimately plays defense for green. I mean, Red should go for the Bene Gesserit to get the intrigue, but it doesn't matter. 2 intrigues for Staban Tuek. They're not going to help him. It's all too late. And Axelz will go through to the next round.
I wish I had that.
But I didn't hit the spice trade one.
Hmm. So, GG guys.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, GG.
It
GG, good game.
was a close match at the end there. Pretty tight.
Yes, yes.
I feel
good with airline.
Yeah, I feel a touch unfortunate from RD. Kind of, I don't know if you went into this round like expecting to get involved in the fight or not. I mean, like, I suppose you kind of felt like you're obliged to when Green passes up the high line.
I was sat on the spice and yeah, the highliner opportunity. I just felt like I had to, and I think I had the detonation in hand as well, so I knew I could go Emperor for 4 more.
Yeah. It is yeah, because there was that. There were other routes as well, but like once Green was, it's like you kind of got to like that. I did theorize there was a route you could have taken to like get the spice and bits and pieces, but then the Fremen Alliance is just like asking to be lost, and that's pretty uncomfortable. And with change allegiances, it would have been history. So that would have been pretty ugly. But you know, it was a pretty close game all around. I think, truth be told, obviously, congrats to Green for getting through. A bit hairy, perhaps. It was kind of looking a bit dodgy in the mid game.
I know that was very stupid gameplay.
It was a bit dodgy in the middle, but I mean, hey, if you're able to play a match and buy 4 spiceless flows, like you're going to win matches more often than not. You don't see that pretty often.
Yeah. Actually, I realized, when I threw away this intrigue switch ritual, I probably shouldn't have, because if I had drawn Capture Manta, then I could have just used that to make up for to
get an extra intrigue. I mean, yeah, it's true, I suppose, but the spice, I didn't hate block it. Like, it didn't seem likely the Alliance was going to go, because all the other influence intrigues are all gone. But Axis was gone, Change was gone. Like, it was all out there, and then ultimately Red ended up playing defense for you basically at the end.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I got very lucky, to be fair. I got very lucky.
Yeah. To be fair though, Red Light saw like they had to re-hit shipping to get the Emperor to try to keep the game going, which was a good spot. But unfortunately, it was you were dead on either one hand or the other. So, alas.
Yeah.
I had a spy on Highlander as well, and I was thinking about getting involved in the conflict, but then Blue went to research station, and I know that okay.
Yeah. They always were set up for their research, deep desert, all that stuff, and and you can't really get involved at that point. I think you did all you really could do in this one. You found the High Council, you hit it about as hard as you could. Maybe. Yeah, I think it was fine. There was option maybe to like peel the spies earlier with high places, and obviously you declined that, which you obviously keeping the spy on the high line is obviously nice. So I guess gives you the options, but I don't think there was too much else to be done here. It was just kind of a bit, there was a lot of firepower going on. Yellow got onto a run pretty heavily in the mid game. Once Protect the Sietches came out, like Red probably became favorite for a bit, but propaganda is always a weird one. Like there's times you can get a ton of polling value, and there's times where it's not so great.
Yeah, it was interesting timing that coming out. It always sort of throws the game into a crazy situation when it comes out round 7.
So here's a look at the results at the end of that one. It means that Rayverne does temporarily top the standings in Group K, but it's not going to be long. Cherry J is guaranteed to at least surpass them and is all but guaranteed to go through to the quarterfinals. Axelz, with a 15-point finish, is not going to be finishing in the top 2, but has at least secured his way through to the wildcards. Further on down, it means that Licking and Astil are all out, as is Unlucky Pal. None of them now can make it to the wildcards. Terra Shah and Terry Fabulous are all safe. And it means in the final game that Cherry J, Terry, and Terra will all be playing to qualify at the top of the table. The winner of that match will go through top of the table and through to the quarterfinals. And for Terry and Terra Shah, it's the only result they can take. Cherry would be good with a top 2 finish and will still make it through. That's about it for this one, however. Yeah, I'd say it was a very, very close affair. I think could have definitely gone either way. I think it was a couple of situations I think folks kind of got themselves a bit awkward positions. And again, I will say, I think Yellow will be a little bit disappointed to have gotten so far and not actually managed to take this one down. It's kind of awkward. Obviously, I point like a route they could have taken to get to like 11 points in theory in the last round, but the Throne Alliance would have been absolutely subject to destruction, and I don't think there was any way that would have been avoided. So don't think there's too much that can be done there. Staban also had not really anything to do, but we said at the time he was basically committing himself to round 7 pretty early, but a few people were definitely looking to do it as well. So tough goings all around. Margot, though, was just brute forcing this game with 4 Spice Must Flows. You don't see that very often, but managing to make it work. So very, very solid performance from them. That will do it for us here in the video. So thank you much for watching, of course. If you do like we do, then please feel free to follow the channel. We'd hugely appreciate it. You guys don't support what we do, then we won't be able to make these events happen with so many people getting involved. And obviously, it's super, super cool to be able to do that. Have a good day, everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in the next conflict. Ding, ding.